It's finally happening, folks. After years of rumors and reports regarding Giannis Antentokumpo trades, we've had multiple reports drop revealing that the Bucks have fallen apart so bad a trade is looking imminent this offseason, and we know Masai Ujiri is intrigued by Giannis after a half decade of reports, and the Raptors have some pieces, have some players that actually can make this trade viable for both sides. So we're going to break down what these latest reports on Giannis Antetokumpo are, and also, how Masai Ujiri, if that interest is still piqued, which we know it has been in the past, his relationship has been there with Giannis Antetokumpo, how the Raptors could really shock everyone and get involved in this Giannis sweepstakes. So, lots of stuff to break down in this video. Before we dive into that, folks, if you want to listen on the go to Raptors Digest, not miss a single thing, especially during this offseason, check us out on Spotify. Check us out on Apple Music if you like to listen and digest your Raptors in those types of mediums, where you can listen on the go if you don't have YouTube Premium. But let's dive into it because, again, this channel was built. This channel was, most of the community was brought together out here in 2019, 2020, based off of Giannis Watch. And this is an old graphic we've had. Giannis, of course, being a guy that has been linked to the Toronto Raptors for many seasons. And dating back to the Mike Budenholzer era, Masai Ujiri on the hunt, Nick Nurse, Pascal Siakam, this team has been intrigued and interested in Giannis Antetokumpo for a very, very long time. Now, of course, the Toronto Raptors have been struggling as of late. The record doesn't give much indication in terms of, oh, this is the perfect fit, a better situation for Giannis. Well, I'm going to break down how things are a lot different than maybe the casual NBA fan might explain. But why are we even talking about this? Because we've had some reports drop. Firstly, we'll discuss from Chris Haynes, as he came out and said that I don't think Giannis will finish his career in Milwaukee. Wholesale changes are coming if they don't make a deep run in the playoffs. Front office and coaching staff. The Bucks could go in a different direction and trade Giannis if things sour this postseason. So this is very, very intriguing because, of course, Giannis has been on the Milwaukee Bucks for a very, very long time, and they've had some success, but the last couple seasons, it has been very messy for this team, and frankly, it hasn't been Giannis' fault. I mean, we can take a look at his stats over the course of this series against Indiana. They got slapped in their first game, and Giannis was leading the team in points and rebounds, and then in the second game, they lose to the Pacers again, pretty handily in a game where Giannis led the team in points, rebounds, and assists. I mean, you're losing in the first round of the playoffs, dropping 34, 18, and 7. There is something wrong with what's going on with your team. And the specific language used by Chris Haynes there should be noted, should be brought up. We're talking deep playoff run, not first round sweep. If there's a big difference between deep playoff run, going to the finals, going to the conference finals, whatever the heck it is, and then Giannis coming out and getting knocked out in the first round or swept by the Indiana Pacers, which, at least in the first couple games of the series, again, things could change, fortunes could adjust, but it is not looking good for the Milwaukee Bucks there right now, and their team isn't really in a position to improve all that much going forward into the future. I mean, you have Damian Lillard, over $50 million attached to Damian Lillard over the upcoming next couple of seasons, and Dame is dealing with this blood clot issue. He's still a phenomenal basketball player, but that's a concern there in terms of roster flexibility. You just traded for Kyle Kuzma, who has been the biggest meme in the entire NBA in regards to his actual ability to be productive out there on the basketball court. You're losing an aging Brook Lopez, who's 37 years old, so there's a hole at your center position. Bobby Portis, I'd imagine, is going to pick up that player option, but we shall see. Pat Connaughton definitely should pick up that player option. KBJ, he's going to earn himself some more money, and he's played better for the Bucks. And then you have a bunch of guys that just haven't really found their footing with the Bucks over the course of this season. It's Gary Trent Jr. went there and gave up a lot of money from the Toronto Raptors to have the elevated role with the Bucks, and it just did not work out. So it's a messy roster, messy situation, and it's a messy position for the team to be in to actually improve their team. And we see the language used, hey, changes are coming for the Bucks. That's what Chris Haynes said. Well, they go out today, and news comes out that essentially the Milwaukee Bucks and general manager Jon Horst have agreed to a multi-year contract extension. The Bucks and Horst's agent have reached a new deal for the NBA championship executive and one-time executive of the year before his contract expired. So basically, what happened is, despite these reports, indications, and stuff leaking that major changes are coming, and they said front office, coaching staff, whatever it is, they go out and they extend Jon Horst, who I know folks over down at Bucks Digest are very, very disappointed, and you can check them out if you want their reactions in terms of everything that's going on. So That is just weird. That is something that, hey, we like what you've done, but the rosters not come together. Maybe that's a side. Hey, these changes are coming actually on the player front and Giannis front, and a trade gets demanded. That's might be reading too many tea leaves there at this point. But then you read more about what Brian Windhorst had to say on the situation. So he talked about his future with the Bucks being monitored by teams ahead of the summer. The Bucks suffer another first-round exit while holding just a few future assets. Teams are preparing to pursue. How is Giannis going to look at this going forward? And we know Brian Windhorst, this man is always dropping these subliminal hints. Hey, what's going on with Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, and then everyone gets traded. That's the type of knowledge that he drops, nothing overt, but those are the nuggets that he drops when these big trades are about to happen. And frankly, Giannis Antentokumpo is a phenomenal basketball player, right? This man is still in the prime of his career, right? He's 30 points per game, 12 rebounds per night, 6.5 assists. The three-point percentage is not at that elite level. He doesn't take a high volume of them. He can shoot them at times, but you're really just getting an absolute game changer out there on the offensive end, on the defensive end. MVP, finals MVP. Still, if not, he's probably not the best player in the NBA, but a top 5 player without a doubt out there in the entire league. So those types of guys who, are still in the prime of their careers, you can't just take those and ignore these opportunities. And we know Masai Ujiri loves to capitalize on frustrated players and everything that's going on. And basically, also from an NBA poll, the biggest name many people believe will become available this offseason, or at least they hope, is Giannis Antetokumpo. If the Bucks have another early playoff exit, many around the league believe Giannis will eventually request a trade. So there's a lot of signs, a lot of indications that this trade is finally going to happen in this offseason, and the Raptors are in an interesting spot because they have some pieces. Now, the big rumored team is the Brooklyn Nets, who would throw out a package similar to this. Nick Claxton, Cam Johnson, Whitehead, and then a few first-round picks, from the New York Knicks, who, again, are going to be a good team. So it's how good are those picks really going to be out there for the Milwaukee Bucks? I don't know, maybe getting the 2025 pick back for the Bucks. That is what it is. But basically, the Toronto Raptors can put together a very intriguing trade package themselves. Basically, if we take a look at something like this, Immanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, and Jacoby Walter. So you're getting a lot better young players out there going back to the Milwaukee Bucks. That also keeps you, semi-competitive. So I know the Bucks don't like to tank, so they keep you, they replenish your roster in terms of actual overall roster balance, and then you also get multiple first-round picks out there in one of these deals. So, the number of picks is variable, but if you're getting Giannis Antetokumpo added to this team, then that's not something I'm too worried about. There's a few players in the NBA that you actually are willing to give up, mortgage your entire future for, and Giannis Antetokumpo is certainly on that list. So, this is a trade that, while it would kill me to get rid of, RJ Barrett, while, young Jacoby Walter, I'm sure he's going to be very good. It would hurt my soul. You get Giannis on this team, and then you're back into championship contention. You still have Scottie in this scenario. You still have Brandon Ingram. You still have Gradey Dick. You still have Jakob Poeltl. Again, roster balance might be weird. The fit around Scottie Barnes and Gradey and Giannis would be weird, but honestly, I think they'd make it work. Run Scottie at point and just have the most devastating defensive lineup in NBA history. So that is something that, again, the Raptors do have a legitimate path forward in order to make one of these trades happen. And then I know some people are going to bring this up and say, hey, why don't we insert Scottie Barnes in one of these trade packages? Absolutely blow every other offer out of the water, and then you have to attach limited other assets in order to make this deal actually go down. And that is something that I know there's going to be a bunch of people in the comment section be like, yes, do it. I still would like to hold on to Scottie Barnes, even though the shooting would be weird, the floor spacing would be weird, and I see the other argument, though. If you could keep Immanuel Quickley, you could keep RJ Barrett, at least one of those guys. You add more shooting around Giannis. You have Ingram, who's going to be playing a similar spot, around Giannis, and then, Poeltl anchored the defense, and whoever the heck you have going on, Gradey Dick alongside Giannis Antetokumpo. The floor spacing would be immaculate out there for Gradey Dick. So it's, it's still a dream. It's still something that, we're looking forward to, but if this trade request goes down, as all signs are indicating to it right now, the Toronto Raptors, with the heavy hit and swings Masai Ujiri is always making for these star players, don't be shocked if the Raptors weasel their way back into the Giannis sweepstakes. So let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comment section down below. You guys best think as far as subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Anyways, I'm signing out. Cheers.